Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Sagittarius placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Sagittarius, I'm going to start with the channeled messages, so I will read from my notes. The first thing that I was getting for you is this metaphor of searching for sunken treasure using a very powerful magnet. So maybe you've seen these videos of people who take a magnet, literally throw it into a body of water and pull something out of the water with this magnet. That's what I was seeing for you, specifically coming through with water. It wasn't coming through as metal detectors on a beach or anything like that. It was really wanting to emphasize water as being a symbolic metaphor for your subconscious and your subconscious desires. So it is kind of coming through in this deck, the archetypes deck. There is a card called Sap of the Moon Plant. So it does feel like you're working with the subconscious or the unconscious energies and pulling something out of that. So it could have something to do with your dreams. It also is wanting to come through with the connection between the subconscious or unconscious and your physical reality. So there may be things like fears that are coming up. There may be things like illusions, or I was also kind of getting interesting, repressed emotional desires or past lives or things like that. It is sort of coming up for you, which is interesting. And so what I was getting for you is that you may be what I'm seeing is that at the moment, Sagittarius, you may be pulling up bits of a broken ship is how it was coming through as a metaphor. Bits of broken wood, right? Of course that have metal on it or something like that, whatever it is. It's a metaphor. It's not perfect. Pieces of a broken ship and kind of reassembling them on land, putting them all together almost like a puzzle piece and seeing the shape of this broken ship. And so it's kind of coming through, so there is this sort of past life energy here, but it doesn't have to be in that sense. It could also be the past for you in this current lifetime, past energies that I want to say, it could have something to do with relationships because it is coming through as a ship, as the metaphor today. But it could be a past pattern. But it is feeling like there is a little bit of a brokenness about it that may be a bit challenging or emotional, or it's bringing up pain and things like that. You're pulling it out of your subconscious into the conscious, your conscious mind space, or your conscious emotional body, or that kind of thing. So there may be pain that you're experiencing. But what I'm getting for you in this is that remember that you're searching for the treasure. And so the ship, of course, is the thing that was carrying the treasure. In this case, it's coming through as being, it was lying directly on top of the treasure. So it's kind of you can't access the treasure without first pulling off the bits of the broken ship, right? That was on top of it and blocking access. So that's how it's coming through today. And then I was just getting something new as that came in, is that you were using a magnet in order to pull off the bits of the ship, let's say. But this treasure, whatever it is, let's say it's a bunch of gold coins, are not attracted to the magnet because gold is pure gold is not magnetic. So it's kind of coming through, Sagittarius, where you're at this interesting place where you're using a magnet, whatever that is. It is kind of coming through with shadow work. there may be something about like the shadow, like your shadow, or like integrating parts of the shadow, or the shadow is helping you to remove bits of, I don't know, let's say pain from broken past relationships. I don't know, something like that. The shadow is helping you to do this, but in order to get access to the treasure, you can't use the shadow or this magnet. You have to switch to a different method in order to get the treasure. Whatever that is to you, it is a metaphor. So it is kind of coming through as being like you have successfully integrated something, an aspect of your shadow, to help you heal. But now it's time to switch over to the light, or there's more conscious awareness of something, because the shadow is no longer not necessary, but like it is necessary, but it's not the correct way to go about this, is how it's kind of coming through. Anyways, I was also getting this message here for you about like what this treasure might be, and it is coming through as being like it is something that you have always had. It's something that you've always had access to, or something like that. Perhaps in the past, like this was something that you like. It could be something like a gift, right? Like a hidden gift, or a hidden desire, maybe even like something that you have always wanted, or something like that. But somewhere along the journey for you, it became blocked, is how it's coming through, by this broken ship, whatever that is. So it is feeling kind of like it's something of it's really coming through as being like a hidden desire, like something that you have, like maybe not hidden, but a repressed desire is how it's coming through. Like it was repressed by something, and this process may be uncomfortable for you, Sagittarius, because in unblocking this desire, there may be feelings of like shame, right? Regret, unworthiness, like all of these sort of difficult emotions that may have been caused by the quote unquote broken ship. And it really feels kind of like a particular relationship that may have caused this aspect of yourself, this gift that you have always had access, or that you've always had, I want to say. You haven't always had access to it, but you are in the process of creating access to this gift. It was repressed by perhaps the negative side effects of a broken relationship, is how it's coming through. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm also getting for you that you are like, imagine this ship again. You're putting the pieces together and seeing the full picture of it. So I want to say it's also kind of like there's an aspect here where it's like, you know, when like in like plane crashes or things like that, there's a black box, right? Like that the recording device or whatever that is very, very secure, and that reveals like the final moments of when something goes wrong, right? Like it's kind of something like that for you, Sagittarius. It's like you're opening up this black box and seeing how that ship sunk in the first place is kind of how it's feeling. And so there is discomfort in that, there's pain in that, but I want to say that it is also very informative for you, because I do feel like you are in the process of almost like rebuilding the boat, or maybe the boat has already, the ship, the boat, whatever, has already been built or is in the process of being built. It hasn't quite launched yet, but it's like the black box carries important information for like perhaps fixing something so that the ship doesn't sink again, is how it's coming through. So there is kind of like this energy here of learning from the past, to prevent that sort of like disaster, let's say, from happening again. And I do feel like the treasure or the gift, whatever it is that you are in the process of pulling up from the subconscious, is sorry, I just lost my train of thought. How did I start that sentence? This new thing that you're building will carry this treasure, is how it's coming through. So the treasure, or this thing that's worth protecting, or whatever it is for you, metaphorically, this gift, it really feels like a gift, or I just want to say like an aspect of yourself that you should be treasuring more, is really how it's coming through. That is precious. It will be an important part of your next journey. But I feel like you haven't, in the past, maybe like it was just blocked by something. In whatever way that is, this particular circumstances are going to be unique to every person, but it was blocked in the past, is really how it's coming through. You're in the process of unblocking it, listening to the black box of what happened that caused that to happen, and then ensuring that the next chapter is protected from that energy, is kind of how it's coming through. And also the significant shift from the shadow into the light. Okay, so Sagittarius, I'm going to pull cards for you. Yeah, the fog. Okay. I feel like the Scorpio reading, the last Scorpio reading that I did, might have a message in there for you. I can't remember if it was the Scorpio reading that, yeah, it was, that had this message of like, you're destroying something, or like Scorpio was destroying something, and like a brick wall. And in that sort of destruction process, there was a whole bunch of dust that was stirred up. That's sort of how this fog energy is coming through, where the fog talks about, of course, like not having full clarity yet, but that with time and with heat as well is also an important factor in this. The fog dissipates, right? So it is going to be something that I feel like, let's see what else it says about this. So heat is also important element in this card. Okay. When the fog is present, nothing is clear, not even the problem. It's hard to orient oneself or to know where you're headed. A distinctly damp mood blankets the laboratory. Fog can be surprisingly pleasant as a counter to drama, and therefore it can lull us to sleep for long periods of time. With its cooling nature, fog is a natural balm for pain and trauma. Yet this state cannot sustain us, for we long to see the horizon and our surroundings. There are two solutions. The first is heat. Think sweating, desire, confrontation, passion, and creativity. If that's too edgy, the second and inevitable solution is time. As they say, the morning fog burns off by noon. The sun will be seen again. How much time you spend in the fog is yet to be determined. Interesting, because it is kind of coming through as like, maybe almost like a soothing sort of like period of stillness in order to help mitigate some pain that's caused from like intensity, which is interesting. So maybe your environmental situation right now, Sagittarius, is a little bit intense in whatever way that is. And so there's almost like this like cooling balm where it's like no movement, or just like, with the fog, I get like early morning, right? Like maybe you have a particular early morning routine, or maybe there's something about the early morning, that the quiet, that is very soothing to you at this time. Or maybe there's something else going on for you in terms of mornings that have like a significance, that is helping to soothe something that I feel like is very intense for you at the moment. So maybe you're not wanting to bring a lot more heat into something, because that can also add more intensity. Maybe, but I don't know, maybe that would be part of the solution. It's like, we'll get more cards, but to see what it is that you're choosing, Sagittarius. Because I do feel like there's something here of like desire that is part of whatever it is that you're pulling up, right? Like it's like there's an aspect of, I feel like your desire is being activated in some way, like a subconscious desire that maybe is becoming known to you. I feel like there may be an aspect of that maybe feels confusing. Very interesting. Oil of vitriol. Yeah. Very interesting. Can I get one more? The peacock's tail. Okay, so I do think you'll be getting clarity soon, Sagittarius. You have Mars at the bottom of the deck, and again, that Mars is a pretty fiery energy. It also is kind of coming through as being like the physical body is being highlighted at the moment. So whatever it is may have something to do with physical desires. Just take that if it resonates, Sagittarius. But there is kind of coming through something, like especially the oil of vitriol. That's a card about anger, resentment, bitterness, the sort of like lashing out energy, but also leads to purification of something. So I just keep seeing like this broken ship. I do think you're pulling something out deep from your subconscious about what it is that you desire. And there may be something about here. So let's say, as an example, just to make this a little bit more clear, let's say in the past you had a relationship that broke down, but there was something about that relationship that I want to say did satisfy some sort of subconscious desire that you had, but perhaps it also came with something that was also very unhealthy for you, right? Like, so it could be something of like a trauma bond where it's like it, or codependency, maybe it satisfied some sort of like wound, or it came through as being some sort of balm to an intense energy, like an intense pain or something from, like, you know, whatever it is. It satisfied that, but at the same time it brought confusion with the fog. It perhaps led to resentments or anger or bitterness, right? Like it is feeling like a codependent situation where it's like you feel like you are very attracted or connected to someone, but at the same time it's very toxic and bad for you, right? Like that kind of energy is how it's feeling. And there's conflict and confusion is really just what I'm getting, is like there's something confusing about this connection between desire and like resentment is almost how it's coming through. Anyways, I do feel like you are, though, in the process of getting this clarity, because the peacock's tail is coming through as being almost like the rainbow after the fog, right? Like this sort of clarity and I want to say understanding, because the peacock's tail talks about like finding the solution within the complexity of something. It can also talk about like having the full vision, or like the full spectrum being involved in the solution to something. So I feel like maybe there's something here where it's kind of causing conflict for you, like an internal conflict is how it's coming through, Sagittarius, of feeling confused about something. But or it's almost like feeling like contradictory about something, but then that sort of becomes more clear when you embrace the complexity of it, embracing the complexity of something. Hold on, I want to see what the Mars card says. Yeah, like heat or fire is coming through is a very important energy for you. With Mars by our side, we can assert ourselves in the world. Our presence is felt and our voices are heard. Like a flame, Mars rises up and helps us stand strong for what we believe in. Social justice movements are great examples of Mars energy in action. With clarity of purpose, Mars leads us to peaceful change, the upholding of human rights, and representing the unrepresented. When Mars appears in a reading, there is strength and vigor required to face the challenges ahead. It may take the form of speaking your truth, getting yourself out of a harmful relationship or job, or getting involved in activist work. As alchemists, we must be very precise with our dosage of Mars. As in uncontrolled amounts, it leads to outbursts and violence. Mars is most potent when paired with ahimsa, non-violence. Okay, interesting. Getting yourself out of a harmful relationship or job. Okay, so you may be in this period of time, Sagittarius, where it's it feels like you're getting the full picture of a past pattern, perhaps in your relationship dynamics, or if it's not relationships in particular, it could be like your job or your relationship to work, money, prosperity, abundance, all of that may not be good for you anymore, or it never has been good for you, is kind of how it's kind of coming through. But there was this sort of broken ship energy that was blocking you from getting access to what would truly be good for you, right? So it's kind of like you're getting this energy of like pulling out all the pieces of debris that were blocking your access to this treasure. And so it is kind of coming through with the Mars, the strength, the vigor, the determination, the motivation, the willpower of doing something that's difficult in order to get access to the thing that would be truly beneficial to you, that would be truly satisfying to you and healing, I want to say, without having that sort of like the toxicity or the resentment, right? Like I do feel like resentment is a very key indicator of something that is a key indicator of codependency, right? It's like if you resent having to do something, asking yourself why that is, and if you are taking on too much burden, that doesn't belong to you, right? That is a codependent sort of situation. That's how it's coming through. So, but I feel like there is something here, Sagittarius, of like, because sometimes it could be something where it's like, I'm being very cautious in how I express this with like, it could be boundaries, right? Like there are like there are things that you would absolutely be 100% willing to do for your friends and family that there's no resentment there, right? It's like you'd be happy to do this thing for them because you love them. Perhaps it's like an acts of service thing or whatever. But for strangers or for people who take advantage of you, it's like absolutely not, right? Like that's how it's coming through. Like boundaries is really what's coming through here. Like maybe you're having to establish a very strong boundary with a particular relationship that is taking too much for you and may potentially cause resentment, or that you are like, that's how it's feeling. There's this sort of intensity here that I feel like you're but I think with the peacock's tail, let's see what that says. 1 second. This card marks the alchemist having shifted from single to multi-perspective. The alchemist has opened 1,000 sets of eyes instead of one. They've discarded black and white thinking and allowed the full spectrum of colors, nuances, and solutions to come into the fold. Creative solutions to complex social and political polarities can be found in this sacred space. Yeah, I do think you are in the process of seeing like the complexities of a situation. Sorry, elephant at the bottom of the deck. I haven't even pulled animal cards, but that card is wanting to come through because it does talk about clearing blockages. And I feel like there's something here of like having to be very specific, Sagittarius, in what you are allowing into your energy. Be very specific is how it's coming through. And it feels like there still might be confusion. It's just how it's feeling for you, Sagittarius. And like, be patient with that. It will clear inevitably with time, but also heat. But I feel like that's part of like this sort of balance that you might be, navigating at the moment. Okay, can I get a card for Sagittarius? There was also this message that was coming through in the channel messages that I forgot to mention. You may have recently met someone who is coming through as being like, you know that saying, like some people are here for a reason, some people are here for a season, some for whatever, lifetime or whatever. I feel like you've met someone recently who may be here for a season. It doesn't necessarily feel long-term, but they do feel significant in some way, almost as being like a bridge to whatever it is that you're like moving into, right? It's like, it's a bridge energy, helping you to transition out of something into the new. Very interesting. But it's like, I do feel like maybe you have recently met someone, or if it's not a person, it could be like you have made contact with something new that is going to be important. Like it may not last forever, but it's going to be important for you in getting you to the next thing that maybe is long term. So just keep that in mind, but be conscious, engage in it consciously. Anyways, yeah, the bat. You have the bat and the mouse coming out together. The bat talks about closure. To me, this card also talks about having to rely on other senses other than what you are used to, especially because vision is coming through is very important here. Like your clarity with the peacock's tail, that is what you're going into, like this sort of energy of like seeing from multiple perspectives, versus right now the fog and the bat is both coming through with kind of this energy of flying blind, right? Like not having full vision in what you're moving towards, but having to trust in your other senses in order to get you there. There is a very strong moon energy that's coming through. At the time that I'm filming this, we just passed the Gemini new moon. So I feel like the Gemini full moon, which would be in Sagittarius season, is going to be a significant timing aspect for you, like in the next 6 months. But then you also have the mouse, which talks about paying attention to details. I do feel like there is this like very like specific it's almost like being very picky, Sagittarius, of like what it is that you are letting in. Because I feel like there's something here where, okay, there's recently been a couple of videos I've been seeing where like, usually between partners where they, one person, like, there's like 2 pieces of fruit, let's say, or 2 pieces of food or whatever. And one person secretly chooses one this is the one that I would choose. And then they show their partner, guess which one I would choose. And then the partner has to say like, oh, based on this, like this fruit has sort of like a wonky edge. This one looks more symmetrical. I think you would pick the more symmetrical one. And try to guess what the other person would choose. And there's something like that coming in for you, Sagittarius, of being very specific on what it is you're choosing and why. That I feel like is important for this, because it's like it's kind of coming through as being like, Sagittarius, you have options. Not all options are going to be specifically what you want. But it's kind of like there's something here of like, I don't know, maybe it has something to do with relationships. It is also feeling like, again, that you're throwing this magnet into this body of water and pulling up like bits of something, but it's not the treasure. That's how it's feeling. So it's like you're picking up other things that maybe have some interest, right? Like, whatever it is, it could be some other form of like lost treasure, but it's not specifically the one that you're looking for. It's not the gold, right? That's how it's coming through. Being very specific about what it is that you're choosing. Because it's kind of like there may be something here that if you were to choose it, it would be repeating a past pattern. I think that you know this already, and so there may be like this need for you to practice some delayed gratification in order to not repeat a pattern. I think you are becoming aware of what this pattern is for you. And I do think it will require you to change, I want to say like change methods or something like that. You have butterfly. Okay. That it is a positive one. I do think you are something is emerging. Something is absolutely emerging. I do feel like this is a change for the better. I think you are pulling out the right thing, right? Because it's kind of coming through as being like, especially, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but like, you needed the magnet to pull out the broken bits of ship, let's say. To uncover the treasure. But now it's like right now, you are pulling up bits of the treasure chest. So you shifted from ship into treasure chest. You're pulling up broken bits of the treasure chest. Still not the gold, but very close. The fact that you are attracting this means that you're this much closer to the treasure, right? That's how it's coming through. So it's like you're pulling up bits of the treasure chest, not the gold itself, but that's the next thing. That's the next thing is how it's coming through. It's the last little like piece before you get to the treasure, the gold, the thing that you want, the thing that you have been searching for. It's the last step. So it's like, be patient. Don't give up yet, I want to say. Like, I do feel like it's something... Yeah, there it is. The golden egg. The gold. This is the thing that you've been searching for. It's like, this is the last step to getting that. Maybe you've been... Like, I feel like there's something that happened recently for you that maybe, like, caused you to get confused about what it is that you were going towards. Like, it is kind of coming through as being, like... It's just like, where did that come from? It's kind of how it's coming through. That might have been the sensation that you've been getting. Like, something that's sort of like, I wasn't manifesting this, but there's the thing. It's kind of like, that's part of the process as well. It's not quite the thing that you were manifesting, but it feels like it's close. It's like very close or very similar. There's something very like, yeah, it's like you attracted something that, was, I want to say it's fool's gold. It's shiny. It is the same color, but it's not the thing that you were looking for. Fool's gold still has value though, which is interesting. It does have value still. It is, it's not quite gold, but it's still something. This is where the specifics come in. Because, Sagittarius, if you stopped searching when you found the fool's gold, then you would have missed out on the gold, right? That's how it's feeling for you. Anyways, the golden egg talks about the heart chakra. And to me, it's always this feeling of like safety, security, feeling very peaceful emotionally, mentally. It is clarity. It's like listening to what it is that you desire. I do think that that's a really important aspect of this, because I feel like there is something here where your desires were blocked or repressed or hidden by that sort of like broken ship. Whatever that is for you. There's a lot of past energy that I'm getting with this though. It's almost coming through as like a captain's log, right? Like seeing, but in a sense that you were the captain. It's kind of how it's feeling. A past version of you was the captain of that ship. And seeing perhaps where a past version of you went wrong as well, that can also be a tough energy. Yeah, changes in your life. The moon again. Because you have this is coming out together. The bat and the moon. There's a change happening. The bat does talk about that, a transition, getting closure, an ending. The color red is coming through very strongly. Yeah, and then fire. Strong emotion, passionate love or hate. Again, heat and fire coming through is very significant. That could be what you're dealing with at the moment, or an element that you're working with. You have the owl. Good advice from a wise person. And the bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Okay, you have 2. Rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. And then you have bird perched. Waiting for news package or a letter. So look at this. You have the sort of bird perched, sitting on this golden egg. And then you have the peacock's tail and the rainbow coming out underneath each other. So lots of synchronicities for you. I do feel like you're still waiting on this egg to hatch, whatever that is. And it's like, don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. Don't just choose the next thing that comes to you, because it may not be the right thing, is how it's feeling. Like, it's not necessarily the option that you're meant to choose. I feel like you know that already. You do know that. But it may be causing like confusion or like, yeah, it's kind of feeling like I didn't manifest this. This is not what I meant to manifest. And it is part of the process, because I feel like there's something here where it's like the universe knows this, but they're making sure that you know this as well. Like, it's like your guides are saying, you're sure, be sure, by giving you the option that is not what you want. 5 of Cups. Okay, my battery's gonna die soon, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Knight of Wands. Yeah, I think there's something like coming in that feels very fiery, but is a product of Ace of Cups, a product of the intensity of a situation around you that's not necessarily what you want. 5 of Swords. And 4 of Pentacles. I think that there's something here where you may even be attracting something, the Empress, that would be repeating a past pattern. And don't get discouraged by that. It's just the way that I feel like it's just part of the process. It's just how it's really wanting to be emphasized. Don't get discouraged by the fact that it's not exactly the thing that you want, but it's a step closer, right? It's a step closer. It's the treasure chest that you're pulling up. It's not yet the gold, but you will be pulling in the gold soon. Okay. It's the last step. Okay. I'm going to leave it there, Sagittarius. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.